All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Atwood. Y'all know that, but those that are watching the recording maybe don't. I am an Emmy nominated actress and producer and the director of the Desert Playhouse. And we are about to do our, I don't know how many table reads now, of Landman by Taylor Sheridan on Paramount Plus. It is streaming drama month, so I'm very excited about that. Some other classes that we have coming up. I have The Handmaid's Tale coming up for a table read next. I do need a lot more auditions for that one, so please come on. And you guys, if y'all spread the word, that would be super helpful because I need a bigger turnout to be able to keep the price at $25. I need a bigger turnout because it to cover like the cost of running the school. So if you guys have referrals or references or whatever you want to send out, if you enjoy your time here, I would love the referral. So we've got Handmaid's Tale coming. Next month is supposed to be daytime, but I'm having trouble getting those scripts because they're one second, Michelle. They are very hard to come by. They keep them under lock and key. So I might have a Days of Our Lives script, but I'm not sure yet. So next month is either going to be Academy Award nominated films, which I do have those scripts, or daytime TV. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. And I'll obviously have to have a script. So we'll be finding out soon. I've got some mental health workshops coming up, you guys. So we all know that being an actor is wonderful. We love it. And it is hard emotionally to not only deal with rejection all the time, but just the difficulty of the business itself. So I have a therapist that I've developed a relationship with that she specializes in performing artists. So she's going to have a talk with us on how to keep ourselves healthy and happy. Career that can be very turbulent. And so give us some techniques on all of that. So we've got that coming up in April. And then if any of you, I don't know if any of you have kids in the business, but if you know anybody that has kids in the business, I'm doing a similar, sorry, Humphrey Bogart, you stop it. My husband's cooking dinner and Humphrey Bogart is hungry now. So anyway, kids in the business. I'm doing a similar one for parents of kids in the business on how to help their children through what is a very turbulent time as kids. So if you know any parents of performers, that would be good. Those are both going to be on a Saturday in April. So there's those. And then my Talent Launch Boot Camp, which is my favorite one. We've got one next weekend. I'm going to LA to shoot a couple of films for my students on a VIP weekend. The next one coming up is a general admission one that's going to be in the summer. So for that one, you guys, you get 6 group sessions with me here via Zoom, similar like this. I customize 2 scripts each for each student, and we rehearse those scripts for 6 weeks before we go to LA. LA is in June, and we shoot 2 headshot looks, and I shoot 2 micro short films for you. You sit with a talent manager out there in LA and get a little strategy session. Um, and we have a rap party and we work hard and we play hard. Have a good time as well. So basically I'm producing your marketing materials for you. So if you're not getting the auditions that you are looking for or you want, definitely take a look at that. This will be the last general admission one I do, you guys. So I'm not just saying that, but the VIP weekends are easy. I don't want to say easier for me, but they're more fun for me because I get to work with people like really close knit. And I can go for a couple of days and come back rather than trying to slam 20 people into a week. And I don't feel like I get to really connect with my actors in the big one. So not going to be doing this one anymore. So if you want the general admission ticket, now's the time to enroll. Okay. The deadline will be on April 30th. And if you know anybody that needs it, please, I send a referral fee for that one. So you get $100 if you send somebody that signs up for that one. All right. So those are my classes. Of course, if you want private sessions, coaching, whatever, you can always call me, but that's not so much a class. Okay. Yay. That's the business side of things, getting that over with. Um, Let's take a minute since it's just an episode. It's not going to take the whole time. So I want to do some gratitude work for us, and let's attract some auditions our way, shall we? Does that sound good? Or we want to attract some big auditions? Okay, so I want everybody just to like close our eyes, and we're going to take a deep breath and let it out, just to relax our brain. If we're nervous, we're not going to be nervous right now. Okay. Take another deep breath in and relax it out. And I want you to imagine that email that came that said, "You have an audition," in big bold letters, and how excited you got to see, "You have an audition." And I want you to feel that excitement in your belly or wherever it is that you feel excitement. And I want you to take a deep breath in with all of that happiness and gratitude. And I want you to say, "Thank you, universe. More of this, please." Say it out loud or to yourself, does not matter. And then I want you to think about the email that you got that said, "Congratulations to the cast." Take a deep breath in. I want you to feel that excitement in your body, wherever it resonates for you. And you find your name on that list and the cast, the parts that you're getting to play, and the excitement that you have to get to play one more day doing something we love. Take a deep breath, feeling all of that excitement and gratitude, and say, "Thank you, universe. More of this, please." And I'm going to say a big thing of gratitude to all of my students here in the table reads, seeing all of your amazing faces. And I'm going to say, "Thank you, universe. More of this, please." Okay. Then go ahead and open our eyes. And I want you to tell me if you guys get an audition this week because you just invited it in with full of gratitude. Okay. I'm gonna let me type in the order of introductions so that you guys can introduce yourselves for the recording. And if we'll just go in this order, um, sorry, can you guys read that? Your names are in not all caps. And just go in that order and introduce yourself so that if somebody that just listening to us knows who is talking. Oh, also say where you're from, your name, where you're from, and what roles you are reading. Okay.
All right. I'm James Primo, Raleigh, North Carolina. I'll be reading for The Punk, The Boy, Dakota Loving, and ELVIO.
Hi, I'm Joe Bafumi. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I will be reading for Dale Bradley, Desmond Trotter, Truck VO, and Drilling Engineer.
Hello, my name is Michelle Renee Castro, and I'll be reading for Anchor, Concession Girl, and Abilene. And I currently am living in the Dallas, Texas area.
Rigo, I can't hear you. I don't know why. It doesn't look like you're muted. Yeah, I'll come back to you. Selena, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Selena Mavens, and I'm reading for Ellie, Boyce, Betty and Isabel, and I'm in the San Antonio area.
Hi, my name is Shannon Mock. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I will be reading for Sheriff W.T. Joburg, Oilman Chubby, Louise Medina, and is it Anton or how are we going to say that?
I think it might be Antoine.
Antoine Johnson. Thank you.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, that was what I'd go with you. All right.
Hey, I'm Thomas Michael Miller. I live in sunny Los Angeles, and I am reading for Tommy Norris and Man.
Here we go. We
Hi,
got, oh, sorry, Ulrich. I'm sorry. So sorry. Go ahead.
oh, all good. I'm Ulrich Tyson. I'm based out of Phoenix, and I'm going to be reading for Patrick, Nathan, and Cooper Norris.
Yeah, Nathan and Nate are the same guy, but it just kind of, they wrote it weird. Okay. Rigo, we got you back?
All right, I think so.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, cool. My name is Rigo Castione, and I'm reading for the roles of Jimenez, Armando, and Monty. Yes.
There you go. And I am already introduced myself. I'm Ashley Atwood. And I'm going to read Angela Norris, Ainsley Norris, and the narrator. So with that, are we ready to begin? Oh,
Yeah.
Joe got kicked out. Hang on one second. Joe's back. All right.
I'm not sure what happened. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So if you guys are not going to be reading for a little while, go ahead and mute yourselves. But make sure you stay alert to where you're coming up in your scene so that you can unmute yourself early. This is Taylor Sheridan, which is kind of quick, right? He writes kind of quick, but I do want you to be able to take your time if needed. All right. It is still a drama, and we are in Texas, right? So relax, take the moments you need to take, but definitely pick up your cues and make sure that that you're not missing those. Okay? Let's go for it. We're recording. Are we recording? I just want to make sure I'm recording. Yes. Okay. All right. Landman, written by Taylor Sheridan. Story by Taylor Sheridan and Christian Wallace. Created by those same guys. Based on Boomtown, written by Christian Wallace. Open on a sheet metal warehouse in the middle of the Texas desert. A Ford F-350 sits parked out front beside a shitty blue pickup with a 6-inch lift kit. Camera creeps towards the house as another vehicle pulls up, stops. The words 6 months ago appear on the screen. Interior sheet metal warehouse continued. A man sits in a folding chair, hands bound behind his back, pillowcase over his head. Two men sit across from him, not men, boys, 18 to 20 years old, tattoos everywhere. Hard, uncaring eyes stare at the man wearing the pillowcase.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Silence from the boys.
Tango que ir al baño.
Andale, pues.
Piss my pants? You want me to piss my fucking pants?
Boy walks up to the man, pulls a pistol from his waistband, slams it into the man's head, knocking him senseless. Blood pools through the white pillowcase. Warehouse door opens. 3 more people walk in. Men this time. One of them is in his 40s. Big belly from too much beer, hollow eyes. His name is Jimenez, 40s. Jimenez stares at the blood leaking through the pillowcase, looks at the boy.
¿Qué pasó?
Esta pendejo siempre hablando. Necesita agua, necesita usar el baño.
Jimenez pulls a pistol, presses it to the boy's head, and pulls the trigger.
Ah, fuck me.
Jimenez looks at the man in the pillowcase.
You say this is your land?
We have the rights.
Yeah, we own this land.
You own the surface, which you purchased from Daniel Pearsall. Daniel Pearsall's father sold the mineral rights in 1993 to Permian Basin Trust. The rights were subcontracted to Meridian Oil, which was bought by ConocoPhillips, which has only recently discovered these rights.
We don't want oil here.
Deep breath from the pillowcase. Time for a hard dose of truth, and he is not looking forward to giving it, but here goes.
Wish in one hand, then shit in the other, see which fills up first.
Maybe I slice you from your huevos down to your throat and hang you from a bridge. See if the oil company comes then.
First, they'll hire Halliburton to build files on you fucking assholes the FBI dreams about having. Then they'll send 30 tier 1 operators from Triple Canopy to bust you open like a fucking piñata. And if any of you dipshits make it back to Mexico, they will blow up your house with a drone while your family is in it. It cost about $6 million to put in a new well. They're putting in 800 of them right fucking here. That's 4.8 billion in pump jacks. They'll spend another billion on water, housing, and trucking. And at an average of $78 a barrel, they'll make $6.4 million a day for the next 50 fucking years. The oil company is coming no matter what.
Jimenez,
So they send you to tell us fuck off.
They sent me to negotiate a surface lease. We're going to build you some real nice all-weather roads that lead to our oil wells and the highway, and maybe a few others if you need them.
You will build me a road.
Here's the deal. If it's the only deal, we won't fuck with your product and you don't fuck with ours. Because if you do, we will build a fucking DEA substation across the street. We got a deal?
We got a deal.
Surface lease agreement is in my briefcase. Signature pages are marked.
Jimenez opens the briefcase, pulls out the agreement, signs it in all the notated spots.
I need an address for the surface lease payments and damage reimbursements.
Damage?
We're going to pay you for the damage to land we build your roads on and pads for our pump jacks.
You pay me.
We pay you.
Strange business, no?
Not really. It's the same as yours.
I don't think so.
You sell a product your customers are dependent on.
Yes.
It's the same. Ours is just bigger.
Jimenez stands, walks behind the man, uses wire cutters to snap the zip ties around his wrists, walks out. The others walk behind him. The pillowcase man listens as the truck engines whine, then disappear in the distance. He pulls the pillowcase from his head, deep gash over his eye, looks at the dead teenager on the ground. The man picks up the briefcase, his hands shake so bad it's difficult to get the cigarette from his pack, harder still to light it. Sucks smoke deep in his lungs, stands up, and walks out of the warehouse. Exterior warehouse, late afternoon. The man walks out to his truck, sucks on a cigarette, and looks out at the dust plumes from the distant trucks. His is lean and wiry like a stray dog, square jaw, and hollow cheeks. Sports a mustache and a decent 3-day growth of speckled gray. He stares out and smokes. His name is Tommy Norris, 55.
Oil and gas industry makes $3 billion a day in pure profit, generates over $4.3 trillion a year in revenue. It is the 7th largest industry in the world, ranked ahead of food production, automobile production, coal mining at 1.4 trillion. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't even crack the top 10. The industries listed ahead of oil and gas are completely dependent on oil and gas. The more they grow, the more we grow. That's the scale. That's the size of this thing, and it's only getting bigger.
Tommy walks to his truck, climbs inside, grabs his cowboy hat, and pulls it on. Lights another cigarette off the one in his mouth, hands still shaking as the adrenaline drains from him. Pulls a Bud Light from a cooler on a seat and downs the whole damn thing.
This fucking job.
Downs another one. Deep drag from the smoke. Holds his hand out in front of him, almost steady. One more beer should do it. Pops one and takes a heavy gulp.
But before any of that money is made, you got to get the lease. You got to secure the rights and lock up the surface. Then babysit the owners, babysit the crews, then manage the police and the press when the babies refuse to be sat. That's my job. Secure the lease, then manage the people. First part's pretty simple. It's the second part that'll get you.
Main title sequence. Exterior desert, sunrise, present day. A lonely highway in the Permian Basin of West Texas. Aside from the ribbon of asphalt bisecting the desert, there is no evidence humans have even discovered this place. A rattlesnake lays outstretched across the highway, warming its body in the early morning sun. Damn thing is almost as long as the road is wide. In the distance, a speck in the morning sky. This distant whir of propellers cuts through the silence. The sound gets louder. The speck gets closer. The speck is a King Air twin prop plane flying low enough to look like a truck on the road to any radar. Across the desert, a plume of dust swirls against the horizon as if a tornado fell on its side, but kept spinning fury into the earth. The King Air gets lower still, flares as it hovers over the empty highway. The sideways tornado gets closer as well, revealing the cargo van creating it. The plane touches down, tires screaming against the black top, races toward the snake, which feels the vibrations rumble through the black top beneath it. The rattlesnake slithers towards safety of the bar ditch, but not before the wheels of the plane slice its body in half. The van pulls up to the road as the plane stops, pulls right beside the plane. Two men leap from the van. One opens the back doors of the van, the other waits by the plane as the King Air doors open. A man opens the plane's front hatch, begins tossing 50-pound bundles of cocaine, kilos stacked together, then wrapped in enough cellophane to encase the plane itself. The men hurry the bundles to the back of the van, load it, and as more bundles are dropped from the King Air. Angle on, the highway ahead of the plane rises, then disappears from view. A faint rumble and the whine of rubber meeting road waft over and rise like an odor. One man stops, looks in the direction of the sound as more bundles are dropped from the plane. An oil truck blasts over the rise at 100 miles per hour. Truck driver doesn't even have time to hit the brakes before slamming into both plane and van. The high-octane fuel of the plane explodes first, sending burning debris like shrapnel through the air as the truck continues on before veering off the bar ditch and rolling on its side. Angle on, the van driver, now engulfed in flames, runs out of the desert. The camera lowers, dropping towards the ground, not unlike the burning man who falls in a heap, igniting the world around him. The camera keeps lowering until it rests on the asphalt, and the only thing in view is half a rattlesnake still withering wildly, desperately seeking for something to bite. Exterior Pecos man camp before dawn. Row after row of single white houses stretch out 50 houses deep into the desert. Another row is hundreds of pickup trucks, Fords and Rams. Almost are all white. Only thing different is the name and logo of the oil company on the truck doors. The entire compound is surrounded by a 9-foot chain-link fence aligned with concertina wire along the top. Camera finds one of the manufactured structures, 4 doors with 4 little porches. Interior man camp apartment continued. A sink runs in a bathroom. Light spills from the bathroom into the living room area, an empty rectangle with a bed, a chair, a TV, and an Xbox. Small sink and 2 burner hot plates sit on a counter on another wall. Cooper Norris, 22, walks from the bathroom to his bed, pulls on a t-shirt, Texas Tech baseball cap, and grabs a large canteen of water and walks out the door. Exterior man camp continued. Some silent alarm must have gone off because door after door opens and more men walk out. Cooper walks along the line of trucks, looks around. A quad cab pulls up in front of him, stops. Passenger window rolls down. The driver is a thick Mexican-American man in his 50s, bald, tattoos down his arms and creeping up to his neck of his shirt. This is Luis Medina. Sitting beside him is 40-year-old version of himself, Armando Medina, and the back seat is a wiry young man with a full head of hair and thus far has avoided the tattoo parlor, ELVIO Medina.
You baby Norris?
Cooper.
Nah, I think baby is better. Get in.
Cooper climbs in, the truck drives off. Interior, Lewis's truck before dawn. They ride in silence. Tejano music plays on the radio.
Vamos a las chicas para café.
Nieto, ¿quieres café?
Yo quiero las baristas.
The men laugh. Cooper has no idea what the hell they are talking about. Exterior, Babes and Brews, dawns. Lewis sits third in line at a small drive-through coffee shop. A neon sign of a bikini-clad woman with swollen breasts holding coffee cups shrines above the drive-through. Cooper peers over Lewis's shoulders, trying to get a better look at the sign and make some sense of this place. Lewis pulls to the window. Abilene, 25, looks exactly like the neon sign. Giant breasts, tiny bikini, blonde hair, big smile. She looks at them and smiles.
3 black coffees?
Spots Cooper in the bag.
Got another one in there. You want something, sugar?
It's too early in the morning for Cooper to process a mostly naked woman and a question. He just stares. She smiles.
I can have that effect. You like yours black, or you want a little milk in there?
I'll take, some milk. Ashley, could I have a latte?
A what?
Usually sell lattes till the bankers wake up.
We ain't got no time to wait for no fucking latte.
But Abilene is gone. Through the window, we can see her packing the espresso and warming the milk. Elvio glares at Cooper.
You trying to get us killed, man? What the fuck?
The truck behind them flashes its brights, another honks. In the distance, someone yells, "What the fuck did you order?" More car horns. Adeline returns with 3 coffees and a latte and hands them to Lewis.
That's 27, sweetie.
Lewis hands her a 50.
Rest is for you.
Adeline blows him a kiss. Lewis pulls out. Armando hands the coffees, hands the latte to Cooper.
Gonna work the patch homes? Better learn to drink it black. Everything we do is fucking on the go, man.
Just don't like the way it tastes.
Ain't for the taste, it's for the fuel. And in 6 hours when you need a jolt, you can't drink that curdled milk. It'd be thrown up in my truck.
You don't want to throw up in his truck, man.
In fact, give me that.
Armando yanks the latte from Cooper and hands it to Lewis, who tosses it out the window.
Your father said make you into a roughneck. May as well start now.
Cooper sits back into the chair, looks out the window at the refinery and the massive vertical pipes jutting into the horizon, burping fire into the sky. Exterior neighborhood, Midland, Texas, morning. A planned community of 4 and 5 bedroom homes sit in neat rows. The only thing distinguishing one from the other is the color of the bricks and the location of the front door. All of the houses adhere to the mantra that everything is bigger in Texas. None of them are under 5,000 square feet. Camera finds one house in particular. 5 Ford F-250s sit parked in the driveway, much like the houses, only their color distinguishes from one another. Interior bathroom, Pecos Oil House, morning. Tommy stands in his underwear in front of the mirror, filling a syringe with B12. Fills another one with testosterone. Fills an insulin syringe with... who knows what the hell's in that one. Tommy sips his coffee, then stabs the B12 shot in his ass, the testosterone shot in his thigh, and the insulin syringe in his pinched skin on his stomach. Whatever that one is, it works better than coffee. His eyes pop open.
Yep. All right, Monday. Let's see what you got.
Tommy walks out of the room. Interior kitchen, Pecos Oil House, a moment later. Tommy walks into the kitchen wearing boots, long sleeve button down shirt, straw cowboy hat on his head. Seated at the table is a hefty man in his 50s as well. Thick neck, big belly, perpetually sunburned skin. His name is Dale Bradley, 50, and Dale has just finished a 12-hour night shift. He eats ranch-style beans from a can and drinks a beer.
How's the night?
HR stopped asking for gang affiliations. Now I got a drilling crew that's half Crips and half Bloods that decided to have a gunfight in the middle of the fucking man camp. Can't wear your straws, ain't Easter yet.
It's going to be 95 today. I'd say it's Easter enough.
Tommy pours another cup of coffee, lights a smoke, grabs a hot pocket from the freezer, opens the microwave, which is covered in boiled bean.
Dale, how many times I got to tell you to pour the beans in a fucking bowl? You burn up a microwave a week putting a can in this sumbitch.
Tastes different in a bowl.
No, it doesn't, Dale. It tastes exactly the same.
Tastes different.
Another man walks out, wears a sport coat over his button-down, jeans, boots, straw hat. His name is Nathan. Dale shakes his head.
I guess cowboy tradition is just right out the fucking window now.
If you see a cowboy in this room, you fucking point him out.
Microwave pings. Tommy takes out his hot pocket. Nathan tosses one in, stares at the bean filth covering the inside of the microwave, and glares back at Dale.
When's your rotation done?
Friday.
Can't get here soon enough.
Nathan looks at Tommy.
Be at the courthouse by 11.
Yep.
Not 11:30.
Tommy's cell phone.
11.
Yes, sir.
Tommy listens.
What?
What?
How far down the... Just send me a pin. I'm on my way.
Hangs up, tops off his travel mug.
On your way where?
Post me tomorrow, Nathan.
Needs to be today, Tommy. These sons of bitches are so far up my ass, they're staring at the back of my tonsils.
Gonna be tomorrow, Nate. I think I just found our plane.
Tommy walks out. Exterior Permian Basin, Texas, morning. Camera soars over pump jack after pump jack, transfer station, frac wells, and man camps, single wide trailers, and row after row of temporary housing. Camera finds Tommy's truck, follows it to the vast expanse of nothing but stunted sagebrush and pump jacks. Interior, Tommy's truck, morning. Tommy races down the highway doing 95 miles an hour. A blue siren swirls on the dashboard. The commodities report plays over the radio. Can't hear you, news anchor.
This is Kate Aspen with the oil report. Brent crude is up 2.32 to 86.54 a barrel. Gasoline prices are up with the national average reaching 3.86. News of maintenance work at both Valero and Tesoro refineries scheduled for May has sparked fears of a summit gasoline shortage.
Ask yourself why they do maintenance in May, Kate.
OPEC meets next week to discuss an increase in production, though speculation is they will hold at current output levels.
No, they won't. They're going to cut production, Kate. They're going to take oil to 100. Who the hell is your shitty source?
Although some insiders fear a cut in production, potentially sending June futures up over 100.
You keep listening to those insiders, Kate. You might figure this game out.
Interior, the distance. Fire trucks and that doesn't make sense. Interior, the distance. They're outside. Anyway, interior, the distance. Fire trucks and police trucks line the highway. A roadblock is set up in the center. Beyond it, a smoking plane and a burning oil truck churn black smoke into the sky as firefighters douse the flames with retardant. Tommy looks out at it.
What in the...
Tommy dials his cell.
Is it our plane?
Tommy studies the tail number.
Looks like it.
Where is it?
In about 1,000 pieces on the road we built through the peyote field.
Sheriff W.T. Joburg, 50s, looks at like a pear-shaped piece of granite, walks with an angry gimp, one might say, works his way up to Tommy's truck.
I'll call you back.
Should I call Fort Worth?
Somebody better.
Tommy hangs up and rolls down his window.
Quite a mess.
You ain't seen the mess yet.
Tommy opens his truck door, steps out.
Okay to leave the truck here?
It's your road.
They start walking towards the burning debris.
FAA says that you reported this plane stolen.
6 weeks ago.
And didn't want to report it to me?
Well, Joe, if you were the fucking airplane police, I would have. But since you aren't, I called the airplane police. It's their job to call you, not mine.
Well, they didn't.
I don't know what to tell you. That's the federal government for you. What's that?
Tommy stares at a 50-pound bale of cellophane wrapped cocaine in their bar ditch.
One of the 75 reasons you should have called me the second that plane went missing.
Tommy stares at the bale.
Cocaine?
Maybe heroin.
Tommy looks at the plane.
Where's the pilot?
Cooking in the cockpit. I got DEA and FAA sending hazmat crews to try and pull him out.
Tommy walks toward the smoldering plane.
Stay upwind of that shit, it'll kill you quick as a bullet.
Tommy stares at the overturned van and the demolished oil truck and tries to do the math.
Landed the plane on the road, offloaded the drugs to the van, oil tanker hot-footed it over the hill and piled into him.
It's the best we can figure it.
It's a Conoco truck.
Yep.
What the fuck were they doing on our road?
They're probably going to ask you the same thing about that plane. Did you report it stolen to the insurance company?
Tommy looks back at him.
Joe, you know how this works. Trucks and excavators and all sorts of shit goes missing every day, then finds its way back in a month or two. If I report everything that gets stolen, the whole Permian Basin would be a crime scene. I got 4,200 barrels of oil I got to move out of here every day.
Not on this road. Not for a while.
I'm going to need a little love on this deal.
What kind of love?
Tommy walks up to him. Close.
Kind that backdates a police report.
Oh, for God's sake, Tommy.
FAA was aware. They dropped the ball. Just take the date I reported it to them and match it.
Do you know how many eyes are going to be on this? The kind with the G on their license plate. I ain't backdating nothing.
Look, in today's report, note that the FAA was notified last month. Can you do that?
Joburg stares at him.
It's the truth.
I'll put it in my report.
In all caps, please.
Tommy pulls out his cell phone, dials.
I need a road crew out here. Gonna send you a pin. We need about a half-mile detour around an incident site.
Tommy looks back at Joburg.
Can I put a road out here to the left and elbow around all this?
You mean over there?
Yeah.
Where the dead body and the drugs are? No.
Are there any dead people or drugs on this side?
Haven't looked on that side yet.
Well, how about we fucking start?
Tommy walks out to the sagebrush, looking around.
Nothing on this side. No drugs, no dead drug dealers. No, wait.
Tommy walks up, looks down on a dead man, body battered and crisped beyond recognition.
Fuck. Hey, Joe.
Joburg looks back at Tommy, who points to the ground. Joburg walks up, looks at the charred man, shakes his head, blows a whistle, and points and shouts back towards his deputies.
Come tape this off.
Tommy walks into the sagebrush.
We're going to need enough caliche for about a mile to get around this mess. I don't want to start right now, and I want you to start right now and don't stop till it's done. Run them all night.
Hangs up his cell phone.
I wouldn't want your job this week.
You wouldn't want it any week.
Tommy walks back to his truck.
Don't go far.
I'm easy to find.
Tommy climbs his truck and drives off. Interior, Tommy's truck continued. Tommy drives down the empty road, comes to the freeway, merges into traffic jam moving 70 miles per hour. Oil and gas tanker trucks, flatbed hauling, and turbine blades with pilot cars, lights flashing. Water trucks and rig trucks whip past, everyone in a desperate hurry to get to some job they can't start till they show up. Tommy pushes a button on his steering wheel.
Call Monty Miller.
Calling Monty Miller.
Before the truck can complete the call, Tommy's cell phone, clipped on to a holder on the dash, vibrates as a FaceTime call from Angela Norris appears on the screen. Tommy has set a specific ringtone to her calls, Darth Vader's theme from Star Wars.
Great. Looks like it's going to be Monday all day today.
Hard to say how old Angela is. She commits most of her existence to keeping it a complete mystery. Deductive reasoning puts her well into her 40s, 50s even. But good hair, better skin, a great boob job, and one hell of a personal trainer makes us doubt the match. Actually, it won't be Monday. It won't be Monday once today, Tommy. It's Friday.
Can't be Friday. I just got here yesterday.
She shakes her head, holds up a calendar. March 1st, you switched to a Friday through Tuesday. If you would look at me, you would see the calendar. But if you looked at me, we'd still be married.
I'm driving 80 down the interstate, Angela. If I look at you, I might die.
Tommy picks up his phone. Points Angela out the window.
See that? Pretty big fucking truck, ain't it?
Flips phone back in the holder.
Okay, it's Friday.
You have Ainsley.
Ainsley.
It's your weekend.
You just told me my weekend is Wednesday and Thursday.
Yours is, but the rest of the world takes Saturday and Sunday off. That world includes me and your daughter. Victor and I are going to Cabo and can't have Ainsley alone in this house.
She's 17, Angela.
Have you seen her new boyfriend?
God damn it, hold on, I'm pulling over.
Tommy whips through traffic toward the shoulder, pulls the truck to a stop. Angela holds up a photograph of a 6'6" young man destined to play quarterback in the NFL and fuck every teenage girl in North Texas before that day comes. Look at this kid. She can get pregnant just from the fucking the photograph.
I see your point.
You trust her driving to you?
To Odessa?
Tommy points the phone out the window again. 18-wheeler after 18-wheeler, oil rig crew after flatbed pipe hauler whip past.
Have her go to Meacham. I'll put her on the plane with the engineers. You changed your hair.
Angela beams. Got tired of being blonde.
I always preferred your natural color.
Baby, you ain't never seen my natural color. Tommy studies her outfit. Low-cut blouse, tight jeans that hug her curves.
What time are you and Vernon?
Victor.
Whatever. What time are y'all leaving for Cabo?
Not till tonight.
And why so dressed up at 8 in the morning?
You think this is dressed up?
I do, and so do you.
You like it?
I do like it.
Angela smiles. One of life's greatest pleasures is showing you what you're missing. Tommy.
You don't have to show me. You don't have to show me to know it, honey. I know it already.
Angela's smile turns into the frown, looks sad even, hurt, shakes her head. If you know it, why'd you let me leave?
I didn't let you do anything.
Silence. Angela gathers herself. How's our baby?
It's his first day. First days aren't easy.
Another Norris in the oil patch. What a waste.
Wasn't my idea.
Apple don't fall far, does it?
You're half the tree, in case you forgot. Get her to the airport by 3.
Tommy hangs up, gasses the truck, and folds it back into the mess of the racing down the highway. Exhales heavy, presses the button on his steering wheel.
Call Monty Miller.
Intercut with exterior, downtown Fort Worth continued. Camera swirls around the 12-story tan brick building built in 1926. Ornate stonework lines the rooftop. Interior, the grill, Fort Worth Club, continued. Where Fort Worth's elite eat breakfast, waiters in white tuxedo jackets with tails hurried poached eggs and steak tartare to waiting oilmen, all dressed in suits. Monty Miller, 50s, sits with 4 other men, eating and talking. An oil man named Chubby, 60, shakes his head.
I'll tell you what, I'm done looking north of I-20. I sunk 3 wells in last week and didn't even hit water.
There ain't no water north of I-20.
More than there is south of it.
What county?
Stonewall.
Monty shakes his head.
They've been sucking that oil for 100 years. Frack the ones that are going dry and get you out of there. Besides, what the hell are you gonna do with 3 whales?
Monty's cell rings. He hits silent without even looking at it.
That's where my minerals are.
Should have bought in the basin when COVID hit.
I don't play that big.
We were buying 100 sections for 5 cents on the dollar. That's not playing big. It's playing smart. There's no oil to be found in that rocky red dirt.
Phone rings again. Monty looks at it.
This won't be good. Pardon me, boys.
Monty stands, walks toward the double doors leading to a balcony overlooking Fort Worth. The weather-tanned brick building surrounded by sleek high-rises seemingly made of glass. Exterior balcony, Fort Worth Club continued. Monty pushes through the doors and speaks into his phone.
How bad?
That's a tricky one to answer.
Something you and Nate can handle?
This one's coming at you 3 ways: insurance company, victims' families, and Conoco.
I'll handle Conoco. What's the best litigator in Midland?
They won't file here. They'll file in Houston. And the first one to hire Shepard Hastings wins.
Hey, who do you like over there?
Clay Chandler's an assassin. Want me to call him?
I'll call him. Keep this off the news.
Tommy chuckles.
This is the Permian Basin, Monty. An airplane of drugs run over by an oil tanker ain't news. It's just another Monday.
Ain't Monday, Tommy.
Monday to me.
Tommy hangs up, drives down the long highway packed with trucks. A massive wave of red dust envelops the road ahead as dozens of bulldozers carve oil rig paths from the dirt. Exterior drill rig day. Louis, Armando, and ELVIO and a drilling engineer all stare up at the sky. Drilling engineer looks at Louis.
What's he supposed to be checking?
The Tucker valve?
What's a Tucker valve?
It's his first day.
Oh, for hell's sake. I don't need Tommy Norris's kid to die on my pad. Get him down from there.
Angle on. Cooper's almost to the top of a 50-foot drilling platform, climbing up its side. Sweat plumes from his face. His clothes are soaked. He sucks panicked breaths as he forces himself to get higher.
It's right up at the top. I don't see it.
Go higher. You gotta go higher.
I remember when you did this to me. Almost shit my pants.
You did shit your pants. Higher!
I don't see.
Do you see a gauge?
No, no gauge.
Never mind. It's down here.
What the fuck? So, can I come down?
Yeah, you want to stay up there all day? What the fuck are you doing? Get your ass down here.
Cooper starts climbing down. Foot slips as he drops 20 feet and manages to grab out for the scaffolding and stop his fall, but not before slicing the shit out of his hand.
Kid's gonna fucking die. Hey, kid, take your time.
Cooper is so wrecked with fear he can barely catch his breath, much less move. He is frozen.
What's he doing?
Nothing?
ELVIO runs to the drilling rig, climbs up the scaffolding like a spider, and reaches Cooper, who is on the verge of tears.
Hey, watch me. Get your feet set first, then move one hand, then another. 3-point contact.
Points of contact.
Always.
ELVIO climbs down one rug, and Cooper does the same. They work their way down.
There you go.
They ease their way down until their feet are back on the pad. Drilling engineer walks to him,
Let me see that hand.
looks at it.
Rinse that off. There's a first aid kit in the field office. Wrap it.
The gauge was down here the whole time.
Armando laughs, and Louis slaps Cooper's shoulder, and they walk back to their truck.
Wait, were y'all fucking with me?
They don't answer and just keep walking.
First day. Had to happen.
Exterior, the Patch Cafe, Odessa afternoon. Tommy walks into the cafe. Photos of oil geysers and rigs from past century cover the walls. The place is packed. Men at the bar drink like it's Friday night. Some men seated at tables eat eggs and bacon, washing it down with coffee. Others eat steak and guzzle pitchers of beer. Tommy sits at the table. A perky waitress in her 40s walks up. Her name is Ellie, 44. Ellie holds out 2 menus, one for breakfast and one for dinner.
Hey, hon, you about to start or just in?
I'm in the middle of mine.
What you want?
How come you ain't got a lunch menu?
Because there ain't no such thing as lunch here at the patch.
True words, Ellie. Dinner.
She sets the menu down.
Can you drink beer in the middle?
Why not? It's Friday for somebody.
Ellie walks off. 2 men wearing West Texas suits, sports coats, starched jeans, and cowboy hats walk to him. They all shake hands and sit. Patrick Ramsey, 40, is weatherman handsome, just at a beer belly. He waves at Ellie.
What'd you get?
But that
You, Bud Bam?
75 million Mexicans can't be wrong.
Patrick points at Tommy and then holds up 2 fingers to Ellie.
We got to get paid on this fire deal, Tommy. You burned up 8,000 acres. We're sitting on a $300,000 loss.
I didn't burn anything. A fire burned it.
Started by a faulty switch on your pump jack.
And spread by a 50-mile-per-hour wind. That has act of God written all over it. Without the wind, that fire barely burns 50 meters.
Listen, Pecos have been good partners. But that's why we didn't join the class action. But we suffered real damages. We need to be reimbursed.
Ellie drops the beers.
We eating or just arguing?
Just arguing.
Ellie walks off.
If we pay you for surface damages, we are admitting fault. You understand that?
You are at fault.
So are you. Fire started on your client's land. They have a fire crew. They didn't stop it. They didn't try.
We'll sign an NDA.
Because those are worth the paper they're printed on.
We will not let you drill another well until this is handled.
How about this? We pay you the $300,000, but it's for a solar lease.
Our client doesn't want solar on the ranch.
We don't make solar panels. We're a fucking oil company. But I can justify the payment for solar rights or the wind.
Patrick thinks about it.
What's the time period you're thinking about?
I don't give a shit. Make it for 6 months. I just don't want to pay you for damages.
I think I can get that to fly.
I don't know how you couldn't. It's easier than selling pussy at a men's prison.
The man beside Patrick bristles. His name is Desmond Trotter, 60, and he looks every bit the born-again rancher.
I found that offensive, sir.
To who? The pussy or the prisoners?
I find it very difficult to do business with people who offend me.
We're not in business together. We lease your mineral rights. In exchange for that, we pay you $2.5 million a year and maintain your roads and dig your stock tanks. Don't for 1 second delude yourself to thinking you're a rancher. You're an old man who spends the money we pay you on cattle. If it weren't for us, your family would have lost the ranch in the 50s. So say thank you, take the $300,000 for the grass, and I'll keep on sending you $200,000 checks each month. But don't you dare pretend I offend you. You smile and say, I'll take it.
Patrick looks at Desmond.
It's a very good offer, and I recommend you take it.
I'll take it, but I ain't smiling.
I guess not. It takes a check for you to do that.
Patrick and Desmond stand.
I can't wait for the day when you and everyone like you leaves this place.
Think that through. If I'm gone, that means the oil's gone. That means the money's gone. That means you're gone too.
Patrick and Desmond turn and walk out. Ellie walks back up.
Now, are we eating?
Now we're eating.
Exterior Midland International Airport, late afternoon. Tommy drives his truck along the runway past Southwest and American Eagle commercial jets toward the row after row of Gulfstream, Learjet, and Global Express jets. Tommy stops and gets out and watches as a Gulfstream G500 lands and pulls down the runway towards them and stops. A door opens and a stairway drops. AINSLEY NORRIS, 17, looks like a 2-year-old racehorse. Long, slender legs, torso of an athlete, baby doll face, and flowing mane of blonde hair. Daddy! She runs to Tommy and buries him in a hug. Hell, she's almost as tall as he is.
You get prettier every day, little angel. Didn't drink them out of those little Tito's bottles, did you?
Daddy, of course not. Your engineers did that.
Well, they have the practice.
Engineers make their way off the plane, toting their overnight bags and wandering to waiting SUVs. Then a 6'6" vision of human perfection steps off the plane, carrying Ainsley's tote bag. I want you to meet my new boyfriend.
Your mother didn't say he was coming.
You know, Mommy, the less she knows, the better. She's such a helicopter parent.
Don't know what that means.
Hovering and hovering and hovering, always. Daddy, meet Dakota. Mr.
Mr.
Perfect,
Norris.
Mr. Perfect walks to Tommy, extends a giant hand.
Mr. Norris, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
What's your last name, Dakota?
Loving, sir.
Dakota Loving. You just can't make this shit up. Let's go.
They turn and walk to his truck. Ainsley's microskirt blowing up with the West Texas wind. Dakota walks behind, not minding one bit. Ainsley looks back at him with a sheepish smile. So windy. Makes a half-hearted effort to hold it down. Interior, Tommy's truck, sunset. Tommy drives. Ainsley and Dakota ride in the back seat. Ainsley lays against him like a six-packed pillow. Dakota's giant hand rests between Ainsley's tan thighs. Tommy wants to pull over and kill him on the side of the road.
So, what do you kids want to do tonight?
Do you have a car we can borrow?
I do not.
What about this one?
This one's mine.
What's fun to do here on a Friday night?
There is nothing fun to do here.
They pass the Midland Lee Stadium. Hundreds of cars are parked out front. There's a line to get in. The board reads, Midland Lee Spring Game.
We could watch the spring game.
Dakota is a football fanatic.
Not fanatic, honey. Phenom.
Sorry, baby. He's a phenom. He made ESPN's top 50.
What do you know? Choose a school yet?
Alabama.
Long way from Tech.
I applied to Alabama as soon as Dakota got accepted their offer, but that's a tough school to get into.
I talked to Coach Saban and told him how much I wanted her there. I play better when she's watching me.
You know what? We should go to this game.
Tommy pulls in, parks. Exterior, Astound Broadband Stadium, evening. Tommy, Ainsley, and Dakota all walk to the ticket line. An Alabama football scout named Antoine Johnson is on the other side of the fence. Spots Dakota. He's hard to miss.
Dakota.
Coach Johnson.
Dakota walks to him, shakes his hand.
You're a long way from Aledo.
With my girlfriend visiting her father.
And thought you'd catch the spring game?
Yes, sir.
Want to watch from the sidelines?
Yes, sir.
Antoine looks at the ticket usher.
These folks are with me.
Things like this always happen to Dakota.
I have no doubt.
They all walk through and toward the tunnel to the field. Exterior football field, Astound Broadband Stadium night. Cheerleaders hurl themselves 30 feet in the air. The Midland Lee maroon and white game unfolds before us. Players smash into each other. The boys look like 30-year-old men. Dakota watches with the Midland Lee players on the sideline. Cheerleaders stare at him like a statue. A few even have the courage to speak to him.
Big son of a bitch is a celebrity.
If I don't get into Alabama, I'm going to die, Daddy. I swear to God, I'm going to die.
You're not gonna die.
Die. Tommy looks at her.
Are you two having sex?
Daddy?
I had to ask.
Of course. Tommy shakes his head.
That's what I get for asking. Are you being careful?
We have a rule and we stick to it.
I'm gonna regret asking this. What is the rule?
As long as he never comes in me, he can come anywhere on me.
I'm gonna get a Dr. Pepper. You want anything?
I could never tell Mama these kinds of things. Thanks for being so cool, Daddy.
Like I had a choice. I'll be back.
Tommy walks to the concession stand.
Can I get a Dr. Pepper?
Young woman fills up a large cup.
Got any bourbon back there?
Sir,
Never mind.
rough day.
You could say that.
You know, I got some pot gummies if you want. I won't charge you.
That's sweet. I'm gonna pass.
Tommy takes his Dr. Pepper. His cell phone rings. He answers. Intercut with interior Lewis's pickup night. Lewis drives. Armando and Elvio read the news on their phones. Cooper is sound asleep in the back seat.
He survived.
How do you do?
Green, real green. But don't say no. Trias, that's something waste of a college degree if you ask me.
No one's asking you. Nobody asked me either. Like father, like son, if you know what I mean.
Oh, what do you mean? Nobody knows better? I got 3 generations of like father, like son in this truck.
That's why I put him with you. Keep him out of trouble.
I'll do my best.
Tommy hangs up, looks out at the field, and Dakota has his arm around Ainsley, his hand cupping her ass like a ripe peach.
This pretty son of a bitch with his fucking giant hand on my daughter's ass.
What did you say?
Tommy looks at a pretty young high school girl staring hell at him. Let's call her Betty.
What?
Are you talking about my ass?
Tommy points to Dakota.
I'm talking about him grabbing my daughter's ass in front of the whole damn world.
Betty looks at them.
Oh my God, that's Dakota Loving.
And off she goes to get a better look. Tommy closes his eyes and tries to shake the whole nightmare from his brain. Exterior man camp night. Lewis pulls up in front of Cooper's apartment. ELVIO shakes him awake.
Hey, this is your pod.
Cooper stretches and opens the door.
Hey, what are you doing for supper?
Don't know.
Got any food in there?
Guess I'll drive back to town.
Lewis studies him.
Close the door.
Cooper closes the door. Lewis drives. Exterior, Lewis's single wide night. Lewis, Armando, and ELVIO all share one large structure. Lewis grills skirt steak on a gas grill. Armando walks out with 3 Negro Modelos, hands one to Lewis, one to Cooper.
Thank you.
Gracias. You need to learn this Spanish because I ain't speaking English all fucking day. Cerveza.
Points to the grill.
Parrilla.
Points to the meat.
Carne. When you're drinking a beer, está bebiendo una cerveza.
Viendo una cerveza.
Yeah, when you're eating tacos, está comiendo tacos de carne a la parrilla. Got it?
Think so.
When I ask you for something in English, you ask me how to say it in Spanish. You'll be bilingual in a month.
Lewis's cell phone rings. The ringtone is from the title song of Frozen. Cooper clocks it.
Grab that heel.
She don't ever call me, only you.
Armando answers.
Chiquita, ¿no quieres hablar con tu papá?
Te an Pablo me gusta.
Ah, no.
Esto mi hablar.
Okay, oh sí.
Armando hands the phone to Lewis.
My wife told her no about something.
Armando looks at Cooper.
And my daughter knows I got no pull with the boss.
Armando winks and Cooper smiles. Lewis steps away to solve whatever emergency Isabella's facing.
ELVIO is your son?
Yeah, my oldest.
Father, son, and grandson all in the patch.
Yeah, my dad was in prison for 10 years. Only way a felon can make a 6-figure salary is steal it or work in the patch. I tried to steal it, ended up right where my dad was. Better you work real hard for it, and nobody can take it away. My son was smart, smarter than us. He skipped prison and came straight to the patch. Owns his own home, truck's paid for, wife don't have to work.
Armando smiles.
How many 24-year-olds can say that? Hey, the meat is ready.
Armando pulls the steak from the grill, walks towards the house.
Vamos a comer, and let's eat.
Interior, Lewis's single-wide night. Unlike Cooper's empty room, they have made a home of this one. Furniture and family photos on the wall. Lewis, Armando, and Cooper sit at the table. Before them, sliced carne, frijoles, tortillas, and a variety of homemade salsas, sliced cabbage, tamales, a feast. Armando passes the beers as ELVIO wanders in from another room and sits.
Dig in.
How do you say that in Spanish?
Ándale pues.
Not really, but that'll work.
They all start making tacos. Cooper fills one up, puts salsa on it, and takes a bite.
Man, that's good. Man, what?
The habaneros kick in. He reaches for his beer, guzzles it, and Lewis laughs.
You've got a way to go, baby.
Oh my God, that's hot.
And that's not even the hot one.
They laugh and drink and eat, knowing another day of heat and hard work is only hours away. Exterior Pecos Oil's house, night, establishing. Tommy's truck sits in the driveway beside 3 more just like it. Interior living room, night. Tommy sips a bourbon, fighting to stay awake as AINSLEY and DAKOTA sit on the sofa, waiting for him to go to sleep.
Well, I'm turning in.
Good night, Daddy.
You're coming with me.
What?
We're going to have an old-fashioned sleep-in like we were when you were 9.
I don't sleep in the same bed as my father.
You'll take the bed. I'll take the floor. The part of the floor that is directly in front of the door.
Where's my room, Mr. Norris?
Your room is the fucking couch. Good night.
Ainsley looks back at her father pushing her out of the room. Interior Tommy's bedroom, night. Tommy has laid a comforter on the ground in front of the door and sets a pillow on it. From the bathroom, we hear, "You're not preventing anything, Daddy, just postponing it and forcing the tension to build up even further. There's no telling what I'll let him do when he finally has me alone."
Every now and then you say things that harken back to the other side of your gene pool.
Are you consulting, Mama?
I am.
Ainsley walks out in a t-shirt and sweatpants. You don't think we're gonna last, do you?
Every romantic relationship you have will be a failure except the last one. Do you think this is the last relationship you will ever have?
I want it to be.
We want them all to be. Do you think it will be?
He can have anyone.
So can you.
Ainsley shakes her head. By your logic, I should just break up with him now and spare myself the suffering. Wait for the last one.
Doesn't work like that. Gotta love your way through the failures. Never know which one's the last one till you're in it.
Did you think Mama was the last one?
Honey, I was shocked your mother and I lasted 6 weeks.
Then why did it last so long?
Same as you. As wrong as we were for each other, I loved her and I couldn't keep my hands off her. Still love her. If she would lose the power of speech, I'd marry her again tomorrow.
I've never slept with him. We've had sex about everywhere you can have it, but
Damn it, baby.
I've never slept with him. Never slept in his arms, never woke up in them. If I promise we won't have sex, can I sleep with him on the couch?
You promise?
I do.
A couch is a rental.
Got it. Tommy stands and moves his makeshift bed from the door. Ainsley walks out. Interior living room, moment later. Dakota lays under a blanket on the couch. Ainsley looks down on him, his eyes open. He smiles.
How'd you pull this off?
I made a promise.
What's the promise?
I can sleep with you, but we can't have sex. Can you make that promise too?
Oh, I'd rather not.
Well, I know, baby, but can you make it?
Can we at least like dry hump?
You can hold me.
Let's talk about this. All right, you promise no sex. That leaves out a lot.
Interior Tommy's room later. Tommy lays in bed. Here's a knock at the door.
Yeah.
Door opens. Ainsley stands there. Tears run down her cheeks.
What happened?
I guess he's not the last one. Doesn't just want to hold me.
Doesn't know what he's missing. Come here.
Ainsley lays on top of the comforter, and Tommy flips his half over her. She curls into it like a cat. Tommy pulls his arm around her. How come you're always right?
I spent so much time being wrong, and I never forgot the lessons.
Thank you. He hugs her, whispers in her ear.
Fuck Alabama.
She laughs. Yeah, fuck 'em. Exterior pump jack, early morning. Louis, Armando, and Elvio are replacing a pressure release valve. Louis slams a hammer against a monkey wrench, trying to loosen a rusted bolt.
18's too small. You need the 24.
Cooper, 24-inch pipe wrench.
Which one is that?
The one that says 24 on it.
It's the one the size of your arm.
Cooper runs to the truck, digs through the tools, finds the 24, grabs it, and runs towards them. Louis pounds his hammer into the bolt in the pressure release valve.
Hey, he's bringing the 24.
I got it.
Cooper reaches the platform. Louis sends a thunderous strike to the wrench. Sparks fly from metal ramming metal, then a hiss, then the world is engulfed in flames. Cooper is thrown 30 feet as flames and the force of the explosion slam into him. Louis, Armando, and Elvio are eviscerated in the blast. Camera looks to the sky as a massive string of fire burns straight toward the sun, dripping giant raindrops of fire back towards the earth. The end. That is a good pilot, y'all.
This is a good pilot.
That is a good pilot. What makes it a good pilot? Go, open discussion.
I think one, it's like a point of view, a lifestyle that maybe people don't think about. And then just within that, there's so many players, right? There's so many like maybe not social classes, but so many people like players in this one like arena. So like the drug dealers, the the landman himself, the workers, the different people that are like the insurance. So it's just got a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, a lot, it sets it up for a lot of different types of conflict because you have all of those different kinds of people. Yeah, I like
Right.
that. What else?
Yeah, it
We're
really,
looking.
yeah, like you're saying, is it really establishes the world they live in on every single page. You know, like the danger, the money, the good old boy of it. Just every page is dripping with the
Excitement.
universe.
Somebody said, Selena, was that you?
Yeah, it keeps it like excitement. It's like you're like waiting to see what's gonna happen next. It's like, okay, what's gonna next? What's next? What's next? So it keeps your mind going.
Yeah, from the very first scene to the last scene, the first scene gets you into it right away because he's there, he's been kidnapped, he's being questioned, and then the last scene, the rig blows up. So is all the way through, there's a lot going on.
Hmm. A lot of suspense, a lot of surprises, and then also a lot of regular kind of people of different sorts involved in enterprises with tons and tons of money, which I think people find that interesting.
Absolutely. I love how he wrote in, obviously there was a bunch of characters, you guys. Trust me, I tried to cast them all. It didn't work out. This is what we got. But there's a lot of characters. But he really developed those relationships and made you fall in love with people, right? Just off the top of my head, Ainsley has already had a little heartbreak, and so you've fallen in love with that relationship with his daughter. You've fallen in love with Elvio, Lewis, and Armando, and then he kills them right off the bat, and you're like, what? No, like right, very first episode, and you guys we're like, no, we loved them. Like, So he made you fall in love with a lot of characters right away, or made you dislike characters right away. He was very good at creating emotional attachments to the audience, to the characters, so that we're very interested in seeing what happens next to them. Absolutely. I loved this pilot. I don't always
That
say
was a good one.
during the table reads. Those of you
Um,
who know me know I'll talk shit about a pilot or something that we read. No
I
problem.
think I think Michael Pena played Luis too, and so like killing him in the first episode, that he's such a big actor was like ballsy. You
Yeah.
know, establishes that it's like a lethal world they live in.
Well, it
Like Game
also
of
could have
Thrones.
been, strategic, like maybe he had a contract somewhere already.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
yeah,
I'll do one episode, right?
yeah.
Get all of, because then he'll have residuals forever because it's the first episode, and all of that promo leading up to the launch, like he's got all of that. So sure, if he knows he's got a contract somewhere else and he can be gone for 10 days,
Yeah.
that was a smart business move if I had a choice.
Yeah.
Right? That's something we'd all go for. What else? What else struck you guys, positive or negative, about this pilot?
It gave me an opportunity to see Billy Bob Thornton in a completely different way. He seems, instead of seeming so crazy as I've seen him in some other things, he seems to be very level-headed and in control of himself. And I really fell in love with him a lot. I think that his character, I want to meet him now. I want to, meet him in person and see what he's really like. But he seems to be playing himself. He
Yeah.
really seems to be just enjoying being him, because I can see him being that person.
Yeah, I feel like it was written for him. Like I don't know if it
I agree.
was, but it
I
feels
agree.
written for him. Just his dry, quick, you know, I don't say wit, 'cause it's wit, but that's not exactly the right
The way
word.
he delivers a line,
Yeah.
because I've watched the pilot against this script probably 3 times. And what I did was I read along with the script
Mhm.
the first time, and then I just watched the video the second time, and then I did that first again where I watched the video with it and again. So I probably watched it 4 times now. And it just seems to they did some ad-libbing, and Billy Bob Thornton, I think he caught the teenage guy off, because if you look at them, those lines aren't there when he tells them that coach isn't existing. And then the guy, Dakota, she's going like, well, didn't you ask him? And those words are not in the script at all. And I think Billy Bob Thornton really kind of caught the guy, the actor, on purpose, off his game to see how he would, throw him off
Well,
and
it
make
could
the
have been
guy, and make the
something.
guy uncomfortable.
It could have been something that they workshopped in the table read, right? So
Maybe
just
so, but
just because it's what is written in this script doesn't mean it's what made it to set, and then it definitely doesn't mean whatever made it to set made it to the editing, to the floor. How many times have we had something that ended up on the cutting room floor, guys? I know I have. I know that first time I was on TV, I promoted all day long. I was like, I'm gonna be on this. I'm gonna be on this show. I'm gonna be on this show. Watch it, watch it, watch it. We're all watching, and they're like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm the dead girl. My whole scene got caught except for me being dead." Go figure. Still got
well,
paid.
that particular one spot, we watched it over and over again, and the way that Dakota looks at out the window, like he's just really irritated with Billy Bob. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a cute attitude.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it, and I like it because it's in Texas, my hometown.
Absolutely. Well, I think if you guys get an audition for Taylor Sheridan, I would not ad lib in your audition, right?
So, no.
So I'm gonna say that specifically because he has written so many shows and he's a very highly regarded writer and creator currently. So you're gonna respect the words that he wrote. Now, if you do have a question, there's several typos in here, right? So if you have a question and you need to get some clarity, ask the casting director, or have your agent email them or whatever. As long as it's a well-researched question, they're fine with that, right? Hey, this says this, it feels like it's a typo. I'm not sure. I looked up different things. I'm trying it different ways, but it's still not sitting right with me. Can you help with some clarity? Especially since we're doing tapes and we're not going in the room anymore. Those are perfectly legitimate questions for you guys to ask. But I would not ad lib unless the casting director gives you that instruction for Taylor Sheridan. For TV, mostly in general, but specifically for Taylor Sheridan. Who casts this, guys? Who are the casting directors?
Oh, John. Oh, fuck. Uh,
I looked him up. Hold on.
It's
man.
whoever cast
John
Yellowstone. I forgot his name.
Papsadera.
Yeah.
John Papsadera.
John Patrick.
Yeah, he is absolutely crushing it. He does like a lot of the Tom Cruise movies, just total savage. Yeah.
Who are his assistants and associates? Both names start with an E. Let's look it up. Easy to find. Shout it out when you got it.
Is Amy Costa one of them?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think it's Emily Wold, Wold. Okay, so if you're auditioning for this show, more than likely you're not going to be auditioning for John. Okay. I don't know for sure. Who knows what he's taken under his like personal wing. But usually there's the head person in this office and they're casting so many things. They're probably not coming on until later in the picture. Okay. You've probably got an assistant and associate that's going through your headshots, your resumes and demos, calling you guys in, doing a first read, and sending you up the pike. More than likely. I can't, obviously I'm not in that office, so I don't know for sure, but you're probably not reading for John. Probably reading for one of his assistants or associates. So it's always super important to get to know who those people are. We're not necessarily going in the room anymore. It was even more important when we were in the room because then you could call them by their name, right? Or get to know them. And those casting director, assistants and associates, they move up the ladder, right? So they're in the same train car as you are, working your way up the ladder. And as you develop that relationship with them, the bigger they get, the more they're going to remember you because you've developed that relationship. Okay. So keep always look at the whole office, try to find where they are and track them, build those relationships. Okay. I know that, I think it's Emma has a Instagram. Okay. Follow her on Instagram. boop. Messenger, hey, we just studied the pilot of Landman. I got to read for the role of Tommy in this study. This is what I found. I loved X, Y, and Z about this pilot. I thought the casting was great when I watched it. Congrats on the gig, because everybody's fighting for gigs, right? Congrats on the gig. I can't wait to see what you do next. That's it. You're not asking for a job. You're praising them on their work. You're updating them on the fact that you are studying their show. It may lead to work, it may not, but you, at least for 2 seconds, got on a radar. Okay? Have your agents or managers or whomever you have working with you tell them that you studied the script, right? So that they can be looking out for an audition for you for the show. And when they pitch you, they can be like, he's been studying this script and this writer. He's excited about, finding a role on this show. Right? They can put that in their pitch. Okay. Who are some other writers in the room for this show? IMDb Pro.
Taylor and Christian.
Well, Taylor and Christian, those are the creators. So those are your top dogs. Okay. But there's going to be more people. Okay. Let me not correct, but other writers. So when you're looking on IMDb Pro for a TV show, your producers are also going to be writers. Okay.
So like Michelle Randolph.
I don't see her name off the top here, but in television, producers, executive producers, assistant produce, like all of that producer title, those are writers in television. Different in movies. Okay, producers are not writers in movies. The writer's the writer in a film. Producers in television.
So that whole list of Ron, Megan, Peter, Dan, all of them?
All of that. All of
Got
it. Co-executive producer, executive producer.
Right.
You'll see assistant, associate producer. Here's Taylor Sheridan. See how he's a showrunner, right? Those are all writers. Okay. So take a look at them. Okay. Here's Peter that wrote for True Detective, Killers of the Flower Moon, Yellowstone writer. So he probably follows Sheridan's around, right? Monster. I could write to him because I played Eileen Wuornos in a film, right? And that was his film. So, like find ways that you can connect with these people. In any audition that you are going up for, you guys should be doing this kind of research. I don't know what that was, but jamming out. Anyway, so any audition that you guys have, you should be doing this kind of research, okay? Especially if it's this kind of thing, right? So that way you're connecting with people, you're fine. It's a business, right? It's a business. We're in the business of sales. We are selling our product. And how do we sell our product? We connect with people on a genuine level. What do you have in common? What shows have you liked that they've done in the past? All of that kind of stuff. This will also kind of get you the style of the show. So we know Tyler Sheridan already because of Yellowstone, because of 1893 and 1923, I think. I get the numbers mixed up, but you know what I'm talking about. 1823 and 1980. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those two prequels. And he's done plenty of other stuff. We know the style of his show, right? They're out. We can watch them. However, imagine it was Yellowstone pilot. And yes, he'd done other things, but he hadn't like exploded like he did with Yellowstone, right? You're going to go and you're going to research the kind of stuff that he does so you can get the tone of the show, right? Tyler's stuff is pretty consecutive, like pretty the same, right? Even when you're going back in time, it's still Taylor Sheridan, but like back 100 years, right? It's the same thing, just different time frame. So you're getting the tone of the show and you kind of have an idea of pacing, of timing, of, I don't want to say the type of acting, but is it more grounded or is it, is it based in reality or is it elevated, right? You get an idea of what what they're going to be, how you fit into the show. Okay. Um, it used to be for me when I first started, like if there was a blonde white girl as a lead role, I wasn't going to get cast. Period. Right? I wasn't going to cast. I looked too much like the lead. Okay. So think about those kinds of things too, right? If you're just like the lead, a lead role, not a part for you there because they don't want you to compete with them. All right. Things like that. Doesn't mean you can't give it a shot, but just kind of know that, have that in your brain. That kind of stuff. What else? Any questions so far? I can keep talking, you guys. I love this stuff.
I'm curious to know, I chose not to watch the pilot just because like in other stuff I've seen, whatever we're doing for the table read, and I just kind of wanted to go with it with like a
your own creative perspective of the role.
yeah, on purpose. So I'm just curious if other people have seen the pilot. I know Michelle obviously has, but like other people if they saw the pilot or if this was like kind of their first go at the script.
I'm just gonna unmute and talk.
Yeah, I did see the pilot.
Just the pilot, or did you watch the series?
Oh no, I watched the whole thing. I was intended on only watching the pilot, but ended up binging the whole
Because the rig
series.
explodes and you're like,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like from the beginning, it just got me hooked. Yeah, and Billy Bob was awesome in there. It just kind of keeps you going.
yeah. Anybody else watch it?
I watched it. I watched it because one of my friends he was talking about we're at a motorcycle function and he was like I want to get on that show. I want to pull up on my bike and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. So then I started watching to see what he was talking about, and I like Billy Bob Thornton too. So
Well, we should also look up who does the casting out of Texas. Okay, so there should be a local casting director. Now that casting director might just do the background on that show. And Michelle, I'm gonna warn you about doing background on that show. Okay, Selena, you too, but it's a little further drive for you to do background, so that's one reason
oh,
I didn't.
I go I go all the way to Atlanta. Like I'm going to Atlanta next week.
Yeah,
So
but
I've been
do background.
Yeah, I did. I went all the way to Atlanta to do all the Queen's Men season 5. I went all the way to Chicago to do Chicago Fire, the dive bar. And then I went to Dallas to do a movie, and then I went to Dallas to do a photo shoot. So I'm in Dallas a lot.
Yeah, well, here's my warning about background. Couple of things. One, background is great for experience. You're getting on a set, you're seeing how the real thing works, you see the pacing, you see who all does what. There's a lot of good that can go with being a background. I'm not dissing that. And it's money, right? It's money and free food. It's all, and it's fun, right? There's a lot of good. However, you are likely to burn yourself if you do background on a show. Okay. What I mean by burn is they will not use you again. You will never get to co-star, guest star, star, anything in that show ever again. Okay. Even if it was first season and now they're in the last season, you are burned. All right. You can never have worked the show before. So I warn of that for TV shows specifically, especially in the first, second seasons, because you have a long, hopefully a hit show, a long way to go. Okay. And you'll never get hired. A film, do it. They've already cast the film, go. Right? You're not going to be burned out on that one. You're going to learn, get some experience, get some money. Commercials, great money for background. I've got paid like $2,500 for somebody seeing the back of my head on a commercial, like for background. Go to town on commercial background, guys, if you can get it. All right. And then if it's like the last season of a show and the likelihood of you getting an audition is low, then go for it. Just be wary. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not controlling your career. Just kind of giving you a little warning about that. Okay? Any other questions?
And I guess, Selena, do you know why, like the rationale behind it? Like to what Ashley's saying with shows, just because, like for example, somebody in Breaking Bad was in the very first episode. They were like
As a
in
teenager.
huh?
He was a teenager on the first episode. He like then
Yeah. Yeah, you tell the story, Ashley.
No, you can go. Unless you
Well, basically just like, you're just in the background and like hardcore fans are like, "Wait, that's the dude that was in the first episode of blah 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 blah." Like, how is he so it breaks continuity. Sorry. So that's kind of the rationale behind it. I
Okay,
didn't know that until not too long ago.
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, it
Although
happens.
the show Death in Paradise had a main character, a villain, come back and be the main character as a detective later, which is rare. But
Yeah, and it confuses you though. You're like,
yeah,
wait,
it's not great. Yeah,
it's
because
confusing.
your sense of reality of that is kind of blown.
Yeah, I mean, I used to, I mean, this is different, but kind of the same continuity wise. Sex and the City, back when it was huge, like I had all of the seasons and I watched it all the time, and they used the same menus at multiple restaurants. I'm like, that's the same food. It would drive me bananas because I was like, no, it's the same freaking menu.
Oh yeah, don't get into sets and places. Hallmark is horrible about it. They break it even in series all the time.
Right? So it's just that same concept. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's enough on that. Who else has questions or concerns or whatever comments? None? Okay. Something else I wanted to touch on was like breaking this script into acts because unlike a lot of television scripts, it doesn't say like end act one, end act two, end act three, right? It also doesn't have scene numbers, which makes me feel like this was definitely not the shooting script, right? Does everybody know what I mean by that, by what scene numbers are? If you don't, please shake your hand. This is what we're doing. Okay, so scene numbers are required for shooting scripts, okay? Because that's how production breaks it down, right? And we know all of that kind of stuff. Anytime you see stage directions in capital letters, it is a hint to production that this is like a prop or a person, a casting. Like that's why when you see your name for the first time, it's on all caps. This is a person we need. This is a location we need. These are props. This is a set. This is a sound effect. This is something as a clue to production that we need to get to be able to make this thing. Okay, so that's what that is. And the scene numbers help us break it down because as we're breaking down the script, we're literally going line by line and going, okay, scene one, we need this. And then we put it into a software and it magically puts it all together, right? And it schedules it and it's wonderful. Thank God for that. But that's why there's scene numbers there. And this doesn't have end act one, end act two yet. It may have had it in its shooting script for production to know. However, we should know, right? We should know at least three act structure, right? And one, two, three. Where's the beginning? Where's the middle? And the end, or maybe even the tag. The it's not previs. It's not pre-lab either. Cold open. There we go. The cold open is pretty clear because then they have the credits, right? On page, what page is it? It's after the Jimenez scene when Tommy is still man. And then Tommy's voiceover, not voiceover, but yeah, it's a voiceover. There it is, page 6. Okay, so that's pretty clearly the cold open, right? Because then main title sequence, right? And then they'll have the song and all of the things, and then it'll cut to commercial. It didn't do that's okay, Rigo. That's why we have class. Right. So we have the cold open, and then there's all of that voiceover, all of that narration that I saying was over the credits or whatever, and then they'll cut to commercial, and then it'll start the next thing. So, where do we think could be the next commercial break or the climax of the next scene? Okay. Do you guys want to do this with me? We can. I mean, I'm happy to. We've got plenty of time here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. If y'all don't want to do it, y'all can go. But I'm happy to sit and break it down and let's chat. It's a small class, so why not, right? All right. So we've got it's a lot of introduction of character and it's a lot of preposition, right? Where we're kind of learning all of this new stuff, but there's still another action point, right? In this bit. Where do we think this is?
What about when the truck hits the plane?
The truck hits the plane.
Yeah, page 7.
Maybe that's right at the beginning though. So that's going to hook us in. That might be the hook more than the climax.
Would it be where the guy got caught on fire and into
Yeah,
the
that's what
ditch?
he's talking about. Where that's all during the title sequence, right? This is title sequence,
Oh,
7.
so are you talking about when well, I'm trying to find it. It might be all the way down, but when the camera was saying went to the ground with the snake.
Yeah, that's all during the title sequence.
So maybe towards like 23, I feel like I don't know, maybe. No, never mind, because that's an intercut with
because they're gonna leave us on a cliffhanger.
I was gonna say maybe when well, it's not necessarily a cliffhanger, but when he's talking to Luis and telling him to break his son in. But that seems pretty close still to the beginning where it wouldn't really be time for a commercial break.
Or would it be where he was talking to his ex-wife? And he talking about put
Maybe.
her on a plane?
Yeah, maybe. Let's see.
I was thinking maybe when Joburg and Tommy are talking and they find the dead body.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah. I think especially the dialogue, I'm easy to find, is a really nice line going into a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I think we found it. What page is that?
20,
Page 20.
maybe 21. Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right because we're cutting back in on page 8 from commercial, probably coming after all of the title sequence, then interior and we're watching Cooper get ready, right?
Yeah.
All
And then
those-
it says he climbed into the truck. So after he says it's easy to find me, he climbs into his truck and drives off. So perfect commercial.
Yeah. Sorry, Humphrey Bogart's going crazy again. I think that'd be good. So let's mark that, right? Especially you, Tommy. You are reading this lead role. You're through this whole thing. You got to know where your breaks are.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You got to know because your line, I'm easy to find going into a commercial is different than just coming right back into the truck and they're picking you up. Call Monty Miller.
Yeah, for sure.
It's different because you want them people to come back and watch you, right?
Yeah, I want them to watch the F-150 ads and then come back to me in my F-150
Exactly.
for sure.
They got to stay through commercial.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's different. All right. Now streaming these days, sometimes they don't get commercials, but they're still going to plan because every streaming thing has a commercial option, or they will because that's why they're hemorrhaging money because they can't survive off of the streaming things anymore. So be looking for that. If it's not marked, you got to know where these things are, and it's usually at a spot that makes you go, oh, what's going to happen now? Okay, because now Tommy is like in the middle of an investigation. Is he going to get what he needs? We don't know. We still don't know, right? How that investigation is coming together, right? Let's see. Where's the next one? So we got Angela. Then we got Monty. Then we got the hazing.
Would another commercial be when they go eat?
No, I want to say maybe something after this Patrick Desmond scene. Because here we are at another dilemma. What is he into now? What is this fire? What is this legal thing, right? This is at least the third thing. We got the fire, we've got the plane that burned up. Now we've got this legal situation. It's not the same thing. It's not the same fire because it's something to do with a switch on somebody else's land versus his road, which is where the plane is. So we've revealed a whole nother shitstorm that Tommy's in the middle of, right? So that might be a good second place, right?
See, are you talking about page 34 when he says, "Now we're eating"?
Yeah.
Yep. Another exit on Tommy.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Before Ainsley comes in.
Yeah.
So I think that was your title card, first commercial, second commercial, and then I bet the rest is the rest of the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I would guess. Okay.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, that's kind of where these little things happen, right? In a TV show. So you can kind of break it down. And then when you're popping in as a role, especially you two ladies, Selena and Michelle, you guys are popping in for just a couple of lines, right? You have to know where you are in the story and why you're there. Okay, so let's look at Ellie. Let's look at Ellie. Why is Ellie in this show? Why are we paying her several $1,000s to come be this bubbly waitress? Why? Why is she there?
Eye candy. It's a whole story for men, so you got to have something for them to, to break it up.
Sure, sure, but it's got to bring the story along somehow. Okay, it can't just be to break it up. It can't just be to have a lady there.
I think too, it's like a familiar face for like almost like a mom figure or some. I kind of agree with Selena though on like the feminine energy, but having some sort of somebody that watches over Tommy in some capacity.
It humanizes Tommy quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and then she's like that perky waitress, so if they go there all the time, they know who she is. So
Yeah. So
they,
It adds, yeah,
yeah,
it
you're
adds like
establishing
the
that
familiarity to the routine.
exactly. You're establishing that place, the fact that they're regulars, that this is the spot, and that you are, well known. You know these guys. They come every day. Yes, Michelle.
She kind of reminds me of the Miss Kitty in Gunsmoke. The sheriff comes in and he's all, real, uh, his day's not necessarily gone well. And then he comes to her, and not that there's a love interest necessarily, but she kind of, because at the very end, she kind of got, when he says, "Yeah, I'm ready to eat. I guess I'm going to eat by myself," or, "I'm going to eat." And she just kind of says, kind of like comforts him and says, "We're going to eat now, or y'all still arguing, or whatever." She just seems to be the woman of the show who, like I said, Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty was always there. She was disabled. No one ever messed with her. She
Okay.
was just basically the barkeep. It turned out she owned the bar or whatever. But she was the matriarch of the show. But not in this case is Ellie the matriarch, but she's a female figure.
Yes. I think it's though to help develop Tommy's character.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, James. Sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking it probably has probably more to do with the location than it does with Ellie.
Mhm.
Because that place had established it as somewhere where they're having meetings, different things are going on, and the fact that Ellie is there, it lends to the fact that this isn't just Tommy having a bad week. Tommy has a bad life. He goes through problems like this all the time. So it's not just like a one-time thing. This is his life is constant chaos, and you can kind of see that because Ellie's not surprised.
She's
yeah,
not at all. She's not surprised. And she knows Tommy.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, "Are y'all eating? Or y'all arguing?" Yeah, like she's
Yeah.
like,
He knows Tommy. And the way that Tommy responds to her, right, is very familiar and kind. It's joking, but it humanizes him. It shows us that he has got an empathetic side, right? And then she comes back after everybody leaves. You eating now? He goes, now we're eating. He's fine with having dinner with her, right? It's like it really develops his character as well. Okay. And so when you guys are coming in these co-star roles, and Ellie she could be a recurring co-star. Why not? Right? They've named her number one, and if we're establishing that this is a place that they come to a lot, then why couldn't she be? So if you come in, even though it's a co-star, with a delicious character, you know why you're there, and you hit all of the marks, then they could be like, hey, let's use Ellie again three episodes later when we're at the diner or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's such a great character. I mean, as you said, she's a grounding force, right? She informs Tommy because he's more respectful to her than he is to the lawyer. So it really sets who he is as a
Yeah.
man. Like, if you don't respect me, I don't respect you. If I think you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, right? But then, as you said, she's also a really awesome person to have in play. So if she ever needs to bring information about what's happening in the world and relay it to Tommy or have the pulse on the world, you don't have to cast or shoot a whole new scene. She can just come in and say, hey, what do you think about this thing that's going on? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Earl. Ehrlich, it's good to see you. Thanks for playing.
Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. So never, ever, ever take your co-star auditions for granted. You never know what's going to happen unless your character dies and then you get cut out of the show. It's heartbreaking. But anyway. Sorry, that was my own trauma.
I always think about Frasier in that one. Like, Frasier wasn't supposed to be a big character on Cheers. He was just a guy on a stool for a few episodes, and then he's had a 30-year career of doing shows now.
Yeah, spinoff, dude. That's like freaking right.
Because he was awesome. Right.
Who else has read for a smaller role that wants to talk about why they think their role was there, or that role specifically was there? I'm thinking of Baked Beans guy specifically. Joe, you want to talk about?
Yeah, so the Dale character.
Dale.
Yeah, Dale's interesting. He has a very small role here. I think he could be kind of a recurring, but maybe not a major character. I think in this, he sort of shows a rapport that he has with the lead, shows some dimension to the lead's character, sort of fills out who this guy Tommy is, um, and shows dynamics between a supervisor and a subordinate in this context in the patch. And so I think that's some of what he gives here. And then it's interesting to think about how he'll sort of come in future episodes. That is kind of a mystery to me, but that's, I think, some of what he has to offer here.
Well, where are they?
They are in it seems the house that employees use, where there's like a communal kitchen.
Exactly where they are. It's Keiko's oil house. So the Roughnecks all live in those pods, and the executives all live in these 5,000 square feet houses, right? So we're establishing that. We're establishing this class system, right? But they're still all bunking together in that relationship, right? So they have to develop that, part of the thing. So that's what I like. And I like that, he built it in a very interesting way with the baked beans being, I mean, who puts metal in a microwave? Especially a grown-ass man, right? Like, but Taylor did it in a very interesting way of establishing. He didn't just go like, this is the group house, right? Like, he wrote really interesting characters to come in and have those moments. And I think that Dale could easily be recurring. Who had or saw a role that was literally just to move the story along?
I felt like I did when they had that girl, uh, and she was just kind of their bright spot in the morning. I mean, that was they had to get coffee because they needed the jolt. So rather than going someplace where they could just get coffee anywhere, they went to this one place, all lined up. You know, all these men lined up to see this, you know, beautiful girls dressed in bikini, and she even had her in the pilot. She even had her uh, shorts, her what do you call them?
A bikini top?
Oh, you know when they have real short shorts. There's
Daisy
a
Duke.
word for it.
Daisy
Daisy,
Dukes.
thank you, Daisy Dukes. Yeah, she had those on, and they were the top two buttons were even undone. So you know she was there just to make them smile in the morning.
Well, she was there to bring the story along, and here's why. It developed their the pace of this movie and the pace that these guys are working in, right?
Okay.
There is very clearly not even time to get a latte in the morning. You drink your coffee black and you go, right? Now they're going to enjoy they're going to enjoy getting that coffee, and we're able to hear the banter and the relationship between these three, you know, family members, and then the new Cooper that's popped in, right? But we're moving that story along, and we're finding that pacing at that beginning scene with Abilene. So yes, very good. I think the drilling engineer also had a moving the story along, right? When he's like, this kid's gonna die. Please don't fucking let him die.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that, yeah, without the drilling engineer, you might not get a sense of of
The
what they're
danger.
trying to do.
Yeah,
Both
exactly.
the danger and the whole, you know, what it's all about. The what do you call it? What do you do with frat boys?
Hazing.
Hey,
Hazing,
Amazing.
the whole hazing element of it.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think I missed one of my cues because I was laughing, but that was well done. You guys did a good job. Yeah, so there's lots of these little parts. Now we know some of them that are going to be, you know, bigger parts, like we know that. But you still have to find your reason for this scene. Why is it there? What are we doing? Um, because it's not just a role that you step into, right? There's a role, your role in the story as well. What is your it's almost like synonym, right? You have synonymous words for role and part. I have a part to play, but it's not just because I'm stepping into this character. Like I have a responsibility to the story. I have a responsibility to the script. I have a responsibility to the audience to help bring the story from point A to point B or Z for that matter, right? From A to Z. And so you've got to find what that is, and that'll help you know which choices you need to make, right? If Abeline's there to show urgency, you know, to the pacing of the story, how is she going to tell that? What is she going to do with that? If Dale is there to establish relationships of where these guys are living and the class system, how is he going to react to Tommy differently? I mean, I don't know. These are all your creative choices. Oops, Selena had to pop. Um, they're your creative choices to make, but the more information that you have, the better you'll be able to tell your stories the way that they need them to be told, right?
Yeah, I was looking at the Antoine character that way, like realizing that
Yeah.
as the scout, his job is to make him from the male side look like a very desirable and wanted and elevated status, so that he's like as glorified as he possibly can be. Because they showed all the girl parts, but then you have this scout who's gonna pretty much just treat him like gold and make
Yeah.
sure that that's
I found it kind of interesting how much Dakota had going on in this pilot, but he's not really in the show. Like he only had a couple episodes, I think.
Oh, I
Do you
think just
think that
Sorry, go
Well,
ahead.
she asked him to leave after this one. That's why she went back upstairs to her dad's room because she kicked him out.
Yeah, but I'm saying they built him up so crystal clear that I was kind of surprised that he was bigger, you know, as big. No, I didn't watch I don't see the pilot yet. So I don't, they may have cut some of that out. Um,
Oh,
you know, but
well,
like
I had
in
seen
the
the
pilot, you would think
pilot already.
he'd be a bigger part of this show, I thought.
because otherwise he would
With
be just
her.
there to build up Ainsley's part, right?
Exactly. Which
Like
he kind
to
of
make
did.
Yeah. I mean, he served a good purpose there to elevate that and bring the father-daughter thing together.
Yeah, the body.
Right,
And then went
right.
together. James, did you raise your hand?
Yeah. I think it was another. It seemed to me to be another situation where he's making you fall in love with these characters, or at least establish some kind of relationship with the character, and then they're gone. So
Yeah.
then it almost creates like the situation where you really don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, just like the guys that he was eating dinner with, I thought, you know, by seeing that they were going to be like long-term established characters, and then they die at the end of the first episode.
Oh, the family of Roughnecks, Lewis and Armando.
The right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, their purpose was to create that drama. But yeah, I think you're right, Shannon, in that Dakota's purpose is to develop that relationship between Ainsley and her dad. That's why he's written in there. I agree with that. Um, yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it. I loved it. I want to be in this show real bad, but
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, who else? Anything else you guys want to discuss? It's getting late.
I have a friend who did background in 1883, but because she was on the wagon train, they used the same background, so she ended up getting a bunch of dialogue eventually. And yeah, I mean, like the exception that proves the rule, and just gushes anytime anyone talks about Taylor Sheridan, about how cool he was. She's Ukrainian, and they fucked up some Ukrainian dialogue, and she's like, I don't know who I tell, and she just
What's her
like,
name? She may have been my roommate at one point.
oh my God, Ilya, Ilyana. Sorry, yeah, she's in my scene study class.
I think she was so I during the pandemic I Airbnb'd like short-term one of my rooms in my house.
Oh, amazing.
And I think it was her because I was like that was our roommate. I was like talking about
Yeah, yeah.
her. I was like, I don't know if I have the same phone number for her or anything, but I was
Yeah.
so proud of her. She wasn't background, she had lines.
Yeah, no, I think she said she started as background, and then it turned into a principal role.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like a really nice little arc.
yeah,
Little arc, but still like
yeah.
it's like I was so happy for her. Anyway, I don't know, ask her if she Airbnb a room during we had Thanksgiving together and everything. Anyway.
Small world, Illinois.
Yeah,
Small world.
we were all like locked in. So it was like we all had like a little mini Thanksgiving dinner. Anyway, cool. This was really fun, you guys. Thanks for sticking around, having the discussion. Please spread the word. I can't keep doing it for um, I love having small class, but I need peeps. Yes, Michelle.
What's the best way for because I'll do the video again, and I gave your email address out.
Yeah,
Is that the best way for people to reach out to you? Is the Desert
people
Playhouse
to the class? You just send them to the online on my website. You can enroll and see what the next show is online all the time. So, or if they want to just get on my email list, I do that as long as you see the emails. But if you just talk it up to your agents. I know Signature sends people all the time, but if you don't like
I mean,
it,
like, should I shout out your
if you do have fun doing these,
yeah.
then I would
Well, if I give you a shout out, the best way is your email, because I remember that. The
desertplayhouse.com has all the information, but send them to the casting call over. You send them my email. I don't care. You can tag me. If you tag me on Instagram, then they'll find me too. Or just have them. Yeah.
Because I like it to be part of the video is how to reach you. So that's why I did it the way I did it last time.
Yeah.
I gave you email. So okay.
Email's
I'll do it again.
Yeah, email's fine. However, Instagram, go straight to the website, whatever. As long as the class size grows, would be helpful. Especially because it's hard reading like 5 or 6 different parts. Especially I mean, I like to read, but at the same time, like I want to watch and I want to coach. And if I'm reading the whole time, I can't really see what people are doing. So I don't.
And this recording will be on YouTube.
Always. Yeah.
So I could send them here so they could see what the class was like.
Yeah. Yeah, the website has the videos posted too. Like my website under the casting call link. So if anybody's like researching like, oh, what is this about? I see like they're on there is like, here's all the videos of our previous table reads.
Okay, can you put that in the chat? I mean, it's just basically the same thing. Because I want to make sure I get it right.
TheDesertPlayhouse.com.
Okay.
TheDesertPlayhouse.com. Super easy.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your
Such
time.
a pleasure reading this.
Thank you, Ashley.
Appreciate
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Have a great week. I'm off to LA next weekend, so see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Have
Ashley.
a safe trip.